Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome once again to our Wednesday musical meditation sponsored by Emory University. I'm so glad that you would join us today. Today is a special day in so many reasons, for so many reasons. First of which, we're celebrating today Ash Wednesday as we prepare to go into the season of Lent. Today marks Ash Wednesday. But something that's really pressing on our hearts today, even as students are preparing and are in the middle of midterms, preparing for spring break as well. There's many that are stressing right now over their studies, over their jobs, over loved ones, over what's going on at home. And before we launch out into our subject for today and our topic, I'm pulling back and I'm taking my time because I realize we are in a very delicate time where life is being lost, a war is being waged, and we want to make sure that we remember, first of all, if wherever you are, stop what you're doing and center yourself. And I want you to inhale first. Inhale and exhale. And with that exhale, why don't you say, I'm thankful. Ready? I'm thankful. Okay? Now this time say, I'm grateful. Ready? I'm grateful. Say it one more time. I'm thankful first. I'm thankful. Now let's say it again. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Why am I asking you to do that? It's because we still have so much to be grateful and thankful for. Our freedoms, this life that we have, we just never know when it will be required of us to leave this place. And we're thankful for life, health, and strength. The Bible talks about having a sound mind and being able to be able to think for ourselves and make our own decisions. So today what I wanted to do is, if you can see on your screen, there's some candles, and these candles are representing today as if we're in a visual format, but we are yet meditating. And I want us to remember today not only our students at Emory University and abroad and around in this country and nation of the stresses that our young people are going through, but also families that are being touched even now with the war that's going on in Ukraine. But it's not just those who are in Ukraine that we're concerned about. We're also concerned about those in Russia that are opposed to this war and that are fearing for their lives on being able to take a stand. As you've already been watching on the news, there have been many protests around the world, but particularly in Russia, and they have been apprehended for taking a stand against this war. So humanity is in a hard place right now. So I want us to pause today and think about those who are in fear of their lives, those mothers and children who are trying to escape in the frigid, cold air just to try to get out with their lives, but then also them having to leave behind the men in the family because they have to fight and defend their country. So today we're offering prayers. We're offering prayers. We're offering words of comfort as represented in our department, Office of Spiritual and Religious Life at Emory University. So what we want to do now, we're going to move to our next slide. And thank you so much, Katie, for putting these slides together for us. They're so thoughtful and so meaningful. And I'm going to ask you as you're sitting there, as you reflect on what's going on, look at the image on the screen first. Community is strength. Be strong. Let's look out for one another. And think about that as a pause. And by the way, behind in the music I'm playing a song from Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. You know, he talks about war in that song. So I want to kind of keep that in the backdrop. Our first reading this morning was provided by Reverend Dr. Dean Gregory McGonigal, adapted from the words of Unitarian Universalist minister Reverend Mark Morrison Reed. And it reads as thus: the central spiritual task is to unveil the bonds that bind us to each other. There is connectedness, a relationship discovered in the particulars of our own lives and the lives of others. Once we feel it, it inspires us to act for justice. Then we are not struggling for justice on our own, but as members of a larger community. Alone, our vision is too narrow to see all that must be seen. And our strength is too limited to do all that must be done. Together, our vision widens and our strength grows. And then my friend and colleague from who is our Hindu chaplain, Shweta Chaitanya, quoted from essays in Hindu theology. When concern about the overcoming of suffering motivates action in the public sphere, the goal is what the Bhagavad Gita describes as Lokasangraha, or the universal common good. Lokasangraha is a concern for the flourishing of all beings, but must certainly concern itself in a very special way with those who do not flourish because of injustice. A universal concern must also be attentive to suffering among particular groups in specific contexts. A rarefied concern for all can too easily become a concern for none. And I pause even with that, and I'm mindful of the time this morning. We may go a little long, but there's also been some things going on in our city that have demonstrated hatred, whether it be towards our friends of the LGBTQ community, or whether it be against our brothers and sisters in the Jewish family. We speak out against all of that, and we come together today in love. And we're going to move forward this morning with a reading from our Christian chaplain, Maddie Henderson. And I hope you're okay out there. I'm asking right now that you give me a smile. I can't see you, but I can sorely envision in my mind as you participate with us today. From Christian chaplain Maddie Henderson: the social principles of the United Methodist Church say we deplore war and urge the peaceful settlement of all disputes among nations. From the beginning, the Christian conscience has struggled with the harsh realities of violence and war. For these evils clearly frustrate God's loving purposes for humankind. We yearn for the day when there will be no more war and people will live together in peace and justice. And that was from the 2016 book of Discipline, Social Principles. From Rabbi Jordan, Jewish chaplain. The 20th century rabbi, theologian, and activist Abraham Joshua Heschel once wrote, "Prayer is meaningless unless it is subversive, unless it seeks to overthrow and to ruin the pyramids of callousness, hatred, opportunism, falsehoods. The liturgical movement must become a revolutionary movement seeking to overthrow the forces that continue to destroy the promise, the hope, the vision. May our prayers be revolutionary. May they seek to undermine violence and militarism. May our prayers for the people of Ukraine be accompanied by an ongoing commitment to uproot the forces that pit people against people, nation against nation, now and in the future." Again, that speaks to our concern, even of those who are in Russia, who are really opposed to what's going on there. We pray for our brothers and sisters there. We're grateful that we live in a land that we can be free. But for those who don't have that privilege right now, we really want to keep them at the forefront of our mind. Our next reading from our Buddhist chaplain, Priya Shraman. May everyone be happy and safe, and may all hearts be filled with joy. May all beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, invisible or visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born, may all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one, out of anger or ill will, wish anyone any harm. That's taken from Discourse on Loving Friendliness. Next, we move on to our dear brother, Muslim scholar, Dr. Isam Vaid. Assalamu alaikum. As a human family, we go through joys and celebrations, ups and downs, difficulties and challenging circumstances. Through it, we are connected to each other and to our Creator. Here are two supplications used by Prophet Muhammad. Upon him be peace for challenging times. O Allah, I seek refuge in you from grief and sadness, from weakness and laziness, from miserliness and from cowardice, from being overcome by debt and overpowered by others. We are from Allah, and unto him we return. O Allah, take me out of my plight and bring me after it something better. Ameen. In closing, for this portion, Maulana Rumi writes, I am in a house of mercy, and my heart is in a place of prayer. Upon you be peace. And as you can see on your screen, this flower, what does it represent to you? The peace. The Bible talks about presenting all of our supplications to God. And the peace that passes all understanding will guard our hearts and minds. We pray for peace today. There was a song I was going to sing today, but I thought it was more important that we have the reflections from our community. As we come to you as a community, we pray that you receive our words today as we remember, and there are again, both locally, nationally, and internationally, of this family of humanity, that when one suffers, all of us suffer. And we must be about showing the world the love that we've been privileged to receive and to give. These words to this song, and as we close, it says, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, children all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment, to live each moment in peace eternally. So let there be peace on earth, and let it begin. Let it begin with me." Before we close out, just say, "Let it begin with me. Let it begin with me." And I hope y'all see my colors today as I represent Ukraine. My undershirt and my shirt here. And let this peace begin with me. Let it begin with you. Be good to yourself and be good to others.